rest of my voice, but I'm feeling pretty good. If I start to, I'll shut up for a while. But the ending there, the ending, CM Punk, Undertaker, guys, I just want you all to one of y'all kick it off, and I'll just jump in at the end. I just want you to talk about your experience, whether it be good or bad, just watching that final segment with Undertaker, CM Punk disrespecting the memory even more of the late William Paul Bear Moody, just spilling the contents of that urn all over Taker, and then, oh my God, eerie, and I couldn't tell you the way the crowd was just, we all were just quiet. I don't know what you guys were seeing on the TV, but in the crowd, we were silent. We were like, is this guy fucking alive? Are you kidding? Did we just get ribbed? And to find out it was Paul Heyman, it was like, wow, run with it, guys.
Well, first of all, honestly, what a makeup job. Because I wasn't sure. I had a feeling that it was possibly Paul Heyman, but I wasn't sure. But getting really down to the gist of it, OMG, honestly, let the poor man rest in peace. I understand there's a great angle here, but the guy is past, and he's not even been dead for 6 months, not even 2 months. It's so fresh for the family and so fresh for everybody that I think it was really distasteful. I really think it was almost too distasteful to bring him or bring a lookalike back in, whether it be whoever it be. I just, as being there, I didn't, honestly, it was great for the angle, but not great to really see it in person and know what that family's going through and then to have to relive it.
Yeah, I have, I say this, maybe I don't say it frequently enough, but I have been watching wrestling since 1983, and I have very thick skin. It takes a lot to offend me and piss me off, and last night was the most offensive that I've seen. And I've read different things. Some people, not as upset as me, but I was very, very upset by the way that they did. It seems like in the last couple of weeks they've been pulling back a little bit with this whole, making reference to Paul Bearer being in the urn and things like that. It seemed like they had pulled back a little bit. And this, honestly, these two wrestlers didn't need to stoop to this level. And it just wasn't necessary. They could have played up more of the angle as far as the win-loss record of Punk over the last year and the Undertaker streak, and they could have gone with that. And I think that part of the problem is that had Paul Bearer been alive, I think they would have incorporated him in the angle some kind of way. And because they were going to incorporate him in the angle, I think that they felt the need to still try to do that. And it's just it was just tacky. And I'll be glad to find out, I guess, years from now, I guess when Punk's retired, whether or not he approved of this angle or whether this was something that he was kind of, I don't want to say forced to do, but maybe force is the right word, or, whether he felt pressure to do this, whether he was with it or not. And I'll be very interested to hear this, but I did not like it at all. It was not necessary. It seemed like it didn't go over that well in the live audience. What type of reaction were the fans giving live?
They were
silence.
It was silent.
Yeah.
It was silence, especially, when you saw him basically after him coming out and just beating him with the urn. I mean, I'm just like, okay, really? But honestly, mainly silence and awe.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't think a lot of people knew what to say.
See, let me, good arguments, by the way, from both of you. I'm looking at it from a couple of different aspects. There's the one aspect that is, okay, give me that shock value, make me want to order that daggone pay-per-view, make me want to sit up, knowing full well that this year you guys are charging an extra $5-6 for WrestleMania just across all the platforms, standard, high definition, the works.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, make me want to see this match and actually believe that CM Punk has a chance at ending the streak. Okay, there's that shock value standpoint. Then there's that other standpoint of the fans, and we've kind of gone there ourselves from time to time, which is, man, I wish they would try to incorporate the Attitude Era. I wish they would kind of push that envelope a little bit while still try to be within their PG rating, so that they don't lose sponsors. So from those standpoints, it was a well-produced segment, okay? But and this was a damn good segment from that, all those points I made. As when Raw went black, now I'm sure you guys didn't see this, but when Raw went black, I actually, because we had some very damn good seats, and I actually read the mouth of Paul Heyman as CM Punk kind of creeped back up towards him, and Heyman told him, you can read it word for word, he said that was really good. And, both of them I can understand, okay, this was all about executing, a really good segment, to go home to WrestleMania, okay? So keep in mind all those points. Now, there's that other side of me that says, you know what, it'd be one thing, as Tammy pointed out, if it was 6 months later, hell, even 3 months later, it's like, okay, we've let the whole Paul Bear thing, be put to rest, now we're kind of bringing it back up, okay, fine. But it's still fresh on the minds of a lot of people. And, WWE, WTF, what the fuck? I mean, you get hit with news that 16-time WWE Hall of Famer Ric Flair's son dies over the weekend, okay? And you don't think that at least for one freaking week you can kind of have there be a little bit of class? And I don't know what you guys saw on the TV, but we didn't see any type of a tribute thing for Ric Flair. We didn't see any type of a acknowledgement for him. I'm curious, was there any type of acknowledgement on TV?
No.
Did the commentators say anything?
No, no, he didn't, and I didn't expect him to. I mean, Reed had his problems. He was not ever active in WWE. Yeah. So I didn't expect that, at all.
I would have, though, because if there was ever time to kind of show a little bit of class and show your appreciation for just the name itself, Flair. You know what I'm saying? I mean, for Christ's sake, we have Ric Flair's daughter down there in NXT. You know what I'm saying? And Reed was, we can only speculate, but he was probably on his way to the WWE. Maybe he was going to get close to getting some type of...
I don't think so.
Deal, you know what I'm saying? So I definitely think that it was just, a little tasteless that, the timing of this, with this Taker segment, just very bad. And, the Moody family, Paul Bear's kids, they actually commented on this segment. And although it was very short, to the point, a lot of people, they want to try to really grill into these words. They want to try to make like a 10-minute conversation out of it. I don't think you really need to dissect it like that. This is what Michael Moody, son of Paul Bear, a.k.a. William Moody, had to say, and he commented on this on Facebook. Direct quote right here, guys. If anyone is wondering, yes, WWE did come to us wanting approval for Monday's storyline. The way it was presented to us was okay. Seeing it on screen was a different story. I don't even know what to say. Now, Michael's brother, Daniel, he also commented saying, again, direct quote right here, totally different. Let's just home in on that. Totally different, okay? Now, I'm sorry, but based on what I've seen, it confirms a thought that I've had for the past several weeks, which is what would have happened had Paul Bearer not died? Would they, the WWE writers, have been able to go this raunchy? Would they have been able to go this route? And honestly, I felt that the CM Punk Undertaker storyline, it was not going anywhere, and this just really helped further the rivalry along. That's why I've always been saying for the past several weeks, the timing of his death, very interesting, because WWE, they've been able to use it to their advantage. Now let's put the question out there to both of you. Keeping in mind what the Sons just said, obviously it's left a bitter taste in their mouth. You talked about this a few weeks ago, Diamond, about the idea of William Moody going into the WWE Hall of Fame. Do you think now that based
next
off
year,
what you think the family will try to work with the WWE, or?
Absolutely. Absolutely. The thing is that at the end of the day, it's about his legacy. Bruno Sammartino is going in the Hall of Fame. You don't get a bigger critic than that. I even think that at some point in time that Owen could probably go in. I think that it may be years and years and years down the line, but it could probably happen. That one right there is the Owen one is just like the most far-fetched one. It could still happen. Things can change. Benoit will never go in. Paul Bearer is going to go in next year, and I think it really needs to happen that way. The thing about it is that they didn't have a lot of traction with this Undertaker CM Punk thing. I think that part of the reason they didn't have traction is because they started it too late. Had they started it in maybe February, I guess if they didn't have that rematch, maybe they could have got started sooner. And I think the way that they got started, if Taker had come back sooner and maybe Punk had attacked him or something like that, and they could have gone a different route, I think they could have had better traction. I mean, the angle with Shawn Michaels and Taker was excellent. That first one that they did, but that takes time to build up. And if Shawn Michaels is believable to be able to beat The Undertaker, I think CM Punk is believable. Of course, it's not a Mark Henry, he's going to rough him up type of match. The psychology is different, and I think that Punk's psychology would have been similar to Shawn Michaels' psychology. So a lot of people that say that they just don't think it's believable for Punk and Taker, I don't agree with that. So they could have done it differently. They did it this way. It's fresh and it's new. The family is definitely, like you said, upset. But McMahon and his handlers are very savvy and quick-witted and good with words. They'll be able to smooth this over. It's about money, and they thought that this shock angle, this is kind of attitude era-like you said earlier. They probably think that this is the best way to go, the shockingness of it. And this is not going to stop us from wanting to see WrestleMania in their eyes. And I don't think that it's going to stop. I think it's going to hurt the interest in this match, though.
I mean, your thoughts?
I can say that at first I was kind of caught off guard, but honestly, to hear your point, yeah, I can see them doing it for the legacy part of it. I seriously think they're going to have to do some damage control before that, because first of all, when they're saying it's very different, obviously they presented it to them in such a different light to get them to say yes, and then all of a sudden it's just kind of a turnaround. So I think they're going to have to do a lot of damage control, but I think it can happen, sure.
Yeah. And about that controversial ending, superstar Billy Graham Not sure if you guys are aware of this, but I definitely want to get you all's comments about this. Billy Graham, he has been very critical of Bruno Sammartino, Diamond, as he put the following message just right before we went on the air about Bruno. Direct quote right here. Bruno Sammartino, this is a message directly from me. Do you still think the WWE programming is family-friendly, as you have been bragging about? He would follow that up by saying this type of desperation for attention, he's talking about the CM Punk Taker angle, this type of desperation for attention angles show WrestleMania's drawing power is almost done with. But this angle did more harm than good. It only did a good job making Bruno look like a pure, paid-for, sold-out fool, which he is. They pulled off the most disgusting, disturbing, and no respect for the dignity of the loss of human life and those that have passed away right in front of him. Billy Graham will end the whole talk of CM Punk Taker on this note, but I definitely want to get you guys' thoughts on Superstars Billy Graham's comments there.
Wow.
You know, let's keep in mind that he's not in the best of health because of choices that he made as it relates to, wrestling. But that aside, yes, this was a business arrangement that Bruno did. It's no coincidence that we haven't seen Bruno make any appearances, even when they were in Pennsylvania. So yes, he's doing this. It needs to be done. It's something for his fans, and he had to say those things because he had been so vocal against it. I mean, Bret Hart, vocal. I never worked for Vince McMahon, and all of that kind of stuff. And that's why you're never supposed to say never, because you don't know what's going to happen. And as Ted DiBiase said, everybody has a price, and that is true. So with that, and including superstar Billy Graham, who had negative things to say, and even sued WWE, and within 2 years he was doing a DVD, a career-spanning DVD with the WWE. So, I mean, you have to take a superstar with a grain of salt. But that said, we look at this in a way because we look at these wrestlers on a personal level. But let's say this is CSI New York, and they do these type of things with the characters. We would not look at it the same way. But with it being pro wrestling, and we have what we call a personal connection with the characters, so to speak, we take these type of things personally. But if this was just a regular sitcom, there wouldn't be this outrage.
I agree. I kind of agree with that. You definitely have that human factor to everything that's going on, and when everything is going on, you take it a lot more personal because you are invested into those characters as people instead of characters. So for me, I completely agree. I think it wouldn't quite be as much of an uproar as, like you said, as a sitcom versus, this live storytelling type of angle.
Yeah. One of our listeners, Chanel, said that they went too far last night. Was nothing entertaining about it. It was actually pointless. It's not a mockery of a character, but someone's life. Very poor taste and judgment. So that is her. That I mean, and a lot of people share that thought.